Hello, chapter 9. It's a ginormous chapter with a lot of, I don't know, a lot of technical, not technical, lists of things. So I'm not going to go through this whole thing. The whole chapter talks about customer service through the use of technology. And I could go over this whole chapter, and in 2 months or 6 months, it's all going to be changing, right? Um, I talk about the customer contact and call and help desks. We're all pretty familiar with that. There's nothing revolutionary here that y'all can't read on your own. So I'm going to fast forward to a certain few things here that I think are more important. Oh, excuse me. So on in the 6th edition, it's page 323. It's the customer relationship management software, CRM software. CRM software is really interesting in that there's way too many companies that don't use it, including Western. I've been after them for years. Like, why don't we have a CRM system? I can't believe this, right? It captures pretty much everything about your customers. So when you call someone, do you want to keep telling your story, right? So you call somewhere, right? You need help with this, whatever, because something broke, or I can't find this, or I went to your website, this isn't working, or whatever. Can you help me? And you tell them your sad story, right? And the person on the end of the line says, well, you know what? I can't help you with that. So I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing, and blah, blah, blah. So next person you talk to, they go, what's your problem? And you go, well, the other person that transferred me to you, don't they? Well, no, tell me what's going on. So you tell them your sad story again. Well, after you do that a few times, you're just so frustrated, it's ridiculous. So CRM does a lot of things for you in that the next time you call, I should be able to say, oh, what's your name? How do you spell your last name? Like if you call the clinic, what is it? What's your last name? And spell that for me and your date of birth, right? Clickety, clickety, click. Your CRM system pulls you up and it has details. If you look here, talk about capture contact information, suppliers, vendors, monitors sales, returns, deadlines, emails, lists, correspondence logs, things like that. So I should be able to pull up and say, oh, here's my notes. A lot of times they have a notes section, and it's, oh my gosh, it's integral to good customer service. I should not have to tell you my sad story every time. So having some more sort of software system, management system to do that makes life way easier for everybody involved. Then it goes on and talks about, email, fax machine. I got rid of my fax machine a few years ago, and I couldn't believe I still had a fax machine. Instant messaging, we can go forward on that. I want us to fast forward to telephone typewriter systems, or TTYs. Because of partly driven by the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, we've, invented certain things to help people that have disabilities, have an equal share of, a normal life, right? So I was doing some corporate training work with a financial institution. Oh gosh, this is probably 15 years ago, at least now. Oh, maybe more. Oh. Anyway, they were having a really hard time filling their positions, employee positions. And of course, the heart of what they do is customer service, right? And a lot of what they do is using the phones because, you're not gonna, it's like calling your insurance guy. You're not gonna drive to the insurance office right away all the time, right? Or if you have somebody, a financial manager, you're not gonna drive to their office. So they tapped into and started working with a group of, I don't remember what the association name was at the time, but it represented people with hearing disabilities. And they sat down and crunched the numbers and found out if they created a system like this that was corporate wide for their call center, that they would be able to employ a group of people that couldn't find employment. So it worked out. It was like magic. So you have this group of people that nobody wants to employ. Oh, we can't employ, a deaf person, right? Or someone who's hard of hearing or whatever, right? And we can't. And then the other side is like, well, we're smart people, we want to work, right? But they can't find jobs. So putting the two together was beautiful. It worked perfectly because we had the technology to help them be able to do that, right? So technology for me, when I look at customer service, should be used with that in mind. Now, and there's the good, the bad, and the ugly with technology, right? And the book kind of gets us there as they go through each one of these, different topics, websites and chat rooms and all of that. But I'm going to fast forward us now to social media. So you're aware that we have all of this different technology through computing, right? So now we also have the advent of social media. Now, this is where things get kind of interesting, right? Because social media has made what I've talked about before, the rule of 10, into the rule of bazillion. So if I had a bad experience, I told 10 of my friends, I told 10 people, and they told 10 people, and they told 10 people, rule of 10. Now it's like the rule of a bazillion because I can put it on social media. So boy, oh boy, be very mindful as a company if you want to, first of all, use social media within your own organization, which we do have a lot of companies that are doing that, or the fact that if you screw up, somebody's going to put it on social media. It's going to end up on Facebook or wherever it is that, we put these things. And in the trending now section on 331, Instagram, they talk about, I mean, what does it say here? The site has over, and this is at the writing of this edition, 100 million users and growing. That's the rule of a bazillion, I'm telling you. Then they talk about YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest. All of these things, there's the good, the bad, and the ugly where these things are concerned. Oh, look at that. They even talked about wikis that we're using in the workplace. That's why I want you guys to use them. So you go, I know what a wiki is. Now let's keep going. Page 336 gets us to the advantages and disadvantages of technology, which is basically what I've been talking about. Here they break it down by like organizational issues. That brings a lot of advantages to the organization, right? By computers, software, all that good stuff, telecommunicating devices. We don't have to have face-to-face meetings anymore. Just earlier today, using Blackboard Collaborate, we had a team meeting. Everybody else is down in La Crosse. One of the other people who lives, I think, in Alaska, she was there, and then I'm up here where I live, right? But then there's also issues too, in that you have to make sure everything works well. You have to invest the time and the money to make sure you have the right devices, well-trained people, everybody, blah, blah, blah. And then it's going to get outdated, right? So you got to keep updating it. Then it talks about, the advantages and disadvantages for employees. And again, if you're not familiar with the technology, I mean, we have some instructors that are scared to death to teach online classes because I don't know how to make a webcam video. I didn't either, but I want to do it because I think it's important for our students, right? And we have to take the time as an organization, which Western has gotten better and better by offering more and more and more and more, technology-oriented professional development to help us learn how to use these tools, right? The downside is some of these tools replace us. Oh my gosh. Customer issues then, right? It's a beautiful thing to go to a website and do your shopping, right? I mean, I really don't have a lot of brand loyalty when it comes to stores. When I physically go to a store, I go to the stores that have the products that I need and have the service that I want. So that means I can't ever get everything in one store. Gosh, if it were only so, right? But I end up having to go to, Festival Foods and Woodman's, and I'm talking about our local area. Festival Foods, Woodman's, Walmart. Let's just look at those, and Menards. Let's look at those 4 big box stores, right? Because I can't get everything at one of them, right? And whatever your opinions are on shopping at any of these, it's just as an example. So I do my Walmart shopping online because they deliver it to my house for free, right? Oh my gosh. For me, I mean, dance the jig every time I hit the, send button. But the downside of that is they have a really crappy interface with their online sales because they haven't kept up with the technology to improve their system with the advent of offering online shopping and free delivery. It's $35 or more. You can't walk into any store without spending $35 and you get free shipping. And their mission is to beat Amazon. Right. So based on competition and that idea, they're like, oh, we can do home delivery too. Right. Well, it's not that easy. So it's not that easy for the company to be able to navigate this. As a matter of fact, it's June of 2017. I believe it was June of 2017. I have to think of what issue of Business Week I was reading. I think June, but don't quote me. Right. They started using third-party sellers like Amazon does. So now I don't get one package in the mail, which I used to. I always just come from Walmart and get a big package, right? Now it might take, and it's 2 days. I'll get my stuff from Walmart in 2 days, right? Just like Amazon Prime. But they're using third-party sellers. Now it hasn't gotten so nice. Now maybe 2 days later I get a part of the shipment and then the next day I get another part of the shipment because it's not all just coming from Walmart. So that complicates things for everybody, but the customer in particular. But see, everybody's got their upside, right? Everybody's got their downside to things. For me, they haven't crossed my line in the sand where I won't do it because the alternative is to drive to Walmart and then I have to go in this store. Not that it's Walmart, it's any store. Oh my gosh, if I could get them all delivered to my house, I would. Now we have places like Yelp, right? Yelp, Ripoff, I don't even heard of that one. And complaints.com. I don't even know if either one of them are, I know Yelp is still in business, but the other two may not be. But we can actually put that stuff out there, right? And make formal complaints where the world can see it, right? And then, of course, too, robocalls. Once you start doing some of this stuff, you get on the list. I'm on the no call list, the no mail list. I'm on every no list, right? I don't get a bunch of stuff in my mailbox anymore. And I don't have a landline anyway. So that takes us through the whole sort of upside down side. Then it talks about technology, etiquette, and different strategies. On page 342, they talk about email. Y'all should already know this. But I'm shocked at some of the emails that I get. Email is not texting, okay? You don't get the same, it's still informal, but it's not as informal as texting. And when you get into bad habits, you're going to get hired or going to work for somebody who is not going to appreciate that, and they're going to let you know that. So if you send a poorly organized or designed email to your boss, you may hear about it. So look these things over, right? You should be careful about abbreviations and initials. You can't assume everybody knows what it means, okay? Especially us old people, right? If you're using some of them crazy, my granddaughter taught me this one. It was POS. That means parent over shoulder. So if they type in POS to whoever it is, they might be not emailing, but instant messaging, whatever they're doing. And that means that they're not going to necessarily say the same thing because their parents over their shoulder, someone's looking. Spell check, proofread, think before you send, right? They used to say, count to 10 before you send. It still applies. You guys can read all of that. Be careful about how many people. Oh my gosh, please don't hit reply all and put your whole organization on your email. One company's stock dropped by like 30% because he sent a nasty email to one of his salespeople and he accidentally included his entire address book. And guess what? It also included the people that were on their board. Oh, they weren't happy. And he got fired, and within 24 hours, their stock had dropped as soon as it went out. We're not going to talk about faxes. Telephone service, again, this stuff is pretty much the same kinds of things we've talked about throughout the whole class. Speaking clearly, page 347. Speak clearly. Don't use jargon or slang, those kinds of things. Adjust your volume. Slow down, right? I have to slow down. If I talk to you guys as fast as I normally do, oh my gosh. Use good voice inflection, things like that. You can read these things. Listening, though, is really, and it can be really hard on a phone because you're not having that back and forth interaction to get the body language that says, okay, it's time for me to listen while you talk. So be mindful of that. And you have to watch your telephone image. I know he's like, image, wait a minute, nobody can see me. And look at that, smile. It tells you to smile while you're being on the phone, just like I've told you to do. Be time conscious, be prepared, speak naturally, those kinds of things. I don't know if there's anything all that revolutionary. Again, using the appropriate titles, just like we just talked about in the other chapter. If you have someone on speakerphone, make sure you tell them they're on speakerphone. That is a big no-no. Put someone on speakerphone, they don't know it. Okay. Voicemail, answering machines. Anybody still have an answering machine? Oh my gosh. Taking messages. Please be professional. I love this figure 9.9. I think it's hysterical because I remember calling somewhere asking for someone. They said it wasn't their date to watch them. Cracked up laughing. I just like, wow, okie dokie. But they give us here what's the message and then that possible interpretation and what's a better alternative, right? And how we answer the phone. And I don't care, when I even answer my phone here at home, because I just use my cell phone, I answer, I said, hello, this is Roxanne. Sometimes, it's like my sister, who are you waiting, expecting you to call? Or I didn't, because I didn't look at my caller ID, I just grabbed it, right? And said, hello, this is Roxanne. I said, well, that's during work hours. That's how I always answer my phone. She's like, oh, it's your cell. I said, yeah. You don't know who's on the other end. That's really about all of the most important parts. And I think chapter 10, I'm looking at the time, we're at about 15 minutes. It goes on to encourage customer loyalty. And I think as I went through it, I didn't really see anything again that wasn't what we already have talked about on how to treat people. Everything, if you do everything we've talked about and learned about and examined to this point, you will already encourage customer loyalty. Now, when you get into specifics like upselling and all of that, that's a little bit different. But when I went through this chapter, showing respect, how many times have we heard that from chapter to chapter? Building brand loyalty, then we get into marketing. And here again, customer relationship management. A good CRM system helps you with that. A good software system can help with that. So I think that wraps up the last of our chapter reviews for this class. All right, you guys, almost there. All right, bye.